What does 202 Maker Coin, MRRF 2018, and a Fusion 360 lesson all have in common? This video. Stay tuned. So I did a live stream a little while ago and made a little announcement that I was going to take a little break because I had some messes that I needed to clean up, and I had a little bit of printing to do in preparation for MRRF 2018. That's right, I'm going to MRRF, and I've got 202 Maker coins ready for MRRF. Now, let's talk about these real quick. Alright, so what do we got here? Well, we got a bunch of different brands and stuff like that, so let me just see if I can remember them all. Alright, so this is a MG Chemicals Red PETG. Very nice. This is yeah. This is the blue MG Chemicals PETG. This is light skin MG Chemicals. The whites are like a combination of MG Chemicals and Zealtech. This is neon green from MG Chemicals. This is the gold roll of filament from Monoprice that came with my Mini. This is MG Chemicals just blue, PLA. These are all PLA so far. This is MG Chemicals yellow, MG Chemicals wood, MG Chemicals purple. Then we got MG Chemicals pink. Then this light blue, orange, fluorescent green, and purple are all Zealtech. And now let's come to the front of the line. These guys are important. And the reason is because, oh, stay tuned. But this is Proto Pasta's High Five 3D printing nerd stuff. These two right here are Matter Hackers Pro PLA. And these two here are Tesla filament. So, and these guys are actually something special. Little project I got going on behind the scenes with my Delta, and I'm not ready to reveal it yet, but as you see that I've got some dual extrusion going on, and I was able to get these two printed, and then I had some failures and some other issues and then time restraints and stuff. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put these all in a bag, and if you see me at MRRF, you get to draw one. Blind, but you get to draw one and get a free Maker's coin. There's nothing to draw, and if you get one of these two coins, you win one of two prizes. What are those prizes? Well, I reached out to two of my favorite companies, and both of them said, hey, we'll throw you 2 rolls of PLA. Huh, what do you think? So one of the prizes is going to be 2 rolls of Tesla filament PLA of your color choice, and they will ship it to anywhere in the world. And the other one is going to be for 2 rolls of Matter Hackers Pro PLA, and they'll ship it at any color that you want as well. So if you see me at MRRF, make sure that you grab a Maker's coin out of my bag. So let's go on over to Fusion 360. I got a little something to show you that I learned in a recent class, and then I'm going to show you how I made my Maker's coin. So let's go to the computer. Before we do get into the Fusion 360 lesson that I got for you, are you subscribed yet? If not, make sure you subscribe. That way you'll know when my next video is coming out. Also hit that notification. All right, let's go on over to Fusion 360. All right, so what I wanted to kind of show you guys was kind of how Fusion is laid out. Now, if you see here, you'll open it up and you got this blank screen. And how is it laid out? Well, you're going to start, you read left to right, and that's kind of how Fusion is laid out, from left to right. When you're doing a three-dimensional, model, you start with a two-dimensional drawing. So this first column is everything got to do with 2D. So you're going to create a sketch. So let's say we want to create a rectangle. And where do we want to create it? Well, let's say we're going to create it right here. We're just going to create a rectangle. Boom, I've got a two-dimensional object. Now the next column is create, and that's, I'm going to take my 2-dimension and I'm going to make it 3-dimension by doing something. Also, let's stop the sketch first. Also, if you click on it, highlight it, and right click on it, these first couple of things here are going to give you suggestions as to what you can do with what you have. So let's extrude. So let's just take it up a little bit because I want to show you one other thing. So now we have a three-dimensional object. We went from a two-dimensional to a three-dimensional. Now this next column is everything that you can do once you have something in the 3 dimensions. So what I want to do is I want to shell. And I'm going to shell that. And we're going to go to 5. So I've shelled it. So I've taken a two-dimensional, a rectangle, and I made it into a 3-dimensional by extruding it, and then I modified it by shelling it. And that's kind of how you go. Now you can create sketches on other planes or other surfaces, and and start the whole process again. I create a sketch, and then I'm gonna do something with that sketch. I'm gonna make it 3 dimensions, whether I'm gonna take away or whether I'm gonna add or something like that. So let's do this. Let's create a new offset plane. So I've selected that. Now if I right click on it, it'll give me a list of suggested things that I can do. Look there, I want an offset plane. And I'm going to take that offset plane and move it about, not quite all the way up. Alright? Now I have a new surface to create a 2-dimensional drawing. So let's create a line on that plane. And I'm not doing this in any specific order or anything like that. I'm just drawing some lines. Just drawing some lines. Oh, let's go take that last one. Just drawing some lines. Okay. Let's do, let's move that guy here. There's no constraints on these yet. Of course, I'm not going to put any on it because I'm just going to demonstrate this one little thing that I didn't know what it was until I learned it in this lesson. So I'm going to draw a couple of these lines. Now we have 2-dimension. I have these lines. Well, what am I going to do with those lines? Well, I'm going to create a web. What's a web? Well, let's see. I'm going to click on all my lines that I just made. And then I'm going to take and draw it out. Look at that. I've created webs. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's see what 3 looks like. And if I unclick the curve, the extended here, I just have the lines. If I extend it, it goes right to the outer shell. How cool is that? So all kinds of things can be created real easy just by using that little web feature. So if you like that feature, make sure that you give this video a like. But let's go check out my Maker's Coin and see how I did that. So here is my Maker's Coin. Oh, see a Maker's Coin, Matt? No, you don't. So first I started out with a 2-dimension, a sketch. And I have this little shape that I created. And then I created a revolve right around that. I used that surface to create a revolve right around that axis. Just like that. Just like that. Next, I took and I made another 2-dimensional drawing on a surface, and then I created an extrude from that, and then I patterned that. Let's go back. So I used this and I extruded. There we go, now we can see it. I kind of worked from the top down. And then I took and I created a pattern with that feature. As you see, spread it around. Could have gone up a couple, but I didn't. I like that look. And then I went and I created a new component. And the reason I made this new component is because this is where I made my dual extrusion file. I had 2 different files, and then when I take them together, assign one to one extruder head and one to the other extruder, and you got a dual extruding model. So let's take a look. I created a new component. Put some text, and then I extruded that text, and then of course in the regular model then I projected that and then cut it out so that I had just the main body. And there you have it. My Inside the Mind of Matt Maker's Coin. So I hope this inspires you to go out and make a Maker's Coin of your own. And if you happen to see me at MRRF, then make sure that you grab a hold of me and draw from my Maker's Coin bag and get yourself a chance at winning either 2 rolls of Matter Hackers Pro PLA or 2 rolls of Tesla's PLA, color of your choice. Don't forget to check out the description. I have all kinds of links. You can support me over on Patreon. I also have a new Buy Me a Coffee, and if you let those ads play, it really helps out. Do any shopping. Appreciate it. Helps out the channel a lot. I do appreciate the support, and I do have a new Patreon, and you see his name in my Patreon list. I appreciate all the gentlemen that have stepped up and chosen to support Inside the Mind of Matt. So, hope to see people at MRRF. If not, I'll see the rest of you in the next video. Make sure you keep on coming back for more Inside the Mind of Matt. Happy printing and be safe pouring.